Hello.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Witchwood Gambit, and we're gonna start today off with a little bit of a recap. We're gonna redo character introductions, but before I get to all that, first we would very much like to welcome our newest player and member of the group, Denver. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Denver. I'm going to be playing DNR Olness. Yep.
All right. Music tonight, courtesy of. Oh, I wrote this down yesterday. It's literally the exact same one, which I wrote down yesterday.
Thessalyan Studios.
Thessalyan Studios provided the Creative Commons royalty-free music for tonight, so thank you very much to them. Any other announcements before we
No.
get into
We
it?
covered it all
We
last.
kind of covered it all last night.
Yeah.
Just okay. So we're gonna go ahead and go around the room one more time. We won't be starting every episode this way, but go ahead and everybody read your little character bios and.
Horrible, but that's it.
Yeah, my phone's over there, so I need your Connor.
So do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I am Chris. I am playing Lachlan Gale. He is a tall, well-built air genasi with a simple, easy style and a charming smile. He carries himself with poise and confidence and is always trying to prove his dignity and worth to himself and his friends. Slow to conflict, Lachlan sees himself as a man of wit, and fighting to him is a last resort. Over the years, Lachlan had developed a reputation as a man with no tolerance for those who would bully and abuse the weak or vulnerable. As his reputation got him noticed, he was approached one day by a uniformed soldier, another genasi, and recruited into the legendary Caveliers. Lachlan never saw himself as an ambitious man, but when he took his oath to the Cavaliers, he dedicated himself to their noble cause and with his whole heart. While still deeply shy, Lachlan relies on the guidance of the great Archfey patron for the courage and strength to face all evil and darkness, to protect those he loves, his comrades, and his country.
Beautiful, thank you.
I am Anaya, and I'll be playing Caveliers Olness. Born and raised in a wealthy family in Cairne Dolmier, I grew up living in a life of dedicated service, inspired by my parents, and in watchful eye ever kept on my unruly younger sister. And everything I memorized just went out the window.
Why'd you join the Cavaliers?
I joined the Cavaliers because I felt like it would be an equalizing force and give me more access to the people from a place more on their footing.
Beautiful.
I'm Denver, and I'm going to be playing D. Most people will think D is just shorthand for Teddy, but actually it's for DNR Olmus of Cairne Dolmier, of yes, that Olmus family. Well, most of my relatives know me as the unruly younger twin sister of Caritas, the holier-than-thou paladin of our family. Most of the stable hands and the chambermaids know me as Teddy and as a really good time. When Caritas joined the Cavaliers, I'll admit I could not stand the thought of us being apart or her getting to have all the fun without me. So I joined as well. Now, if I'm not in the brig for 100 and something at a time, or climbing the eaves, I am finding new ways to test patience and get needs met. Wink, wink. I have collected some lovely daggers. I am working on finding a way to conceal some of them in the heels of a pair of my shoes, but an artificer I am not. Perhaps the Cavaliers might show Caritas that I am entirely capable of handling myself as her equal and not her 4 minutes younger, little sister. Who knows what time will be?
Oh, love it. You're up.
My name's John, and I'll be playing Darby Crossfield. No, Darby's never really felt like he would fit in until the moment hit in his youth when he first saw the Cavaliers with his own eyes and was instantly in awe. There, among the ranks, were Firbolg like him working shoulder to shoulder with humans and elves, and at their lead, a Duergar. In that moment, his moss-green face became alight with new hope that he could one day rise above the station of his people as farmers. He too would become a Cavalier, and one day prove himself an equal to the other species. Now, at the age of 19 and graduating, he's distinguished himself as a healer, with a penchant for breaking rules when need be, and often finding his mind wandering to the ways of his Fey ancestry, with spare time spent on the cheap side of town, using his druid craft to help window box gardens flourish, or at times patching up a classmate after lights out and being caught on his way back to the bunk, which on occasion has landed him in the break.
So the three of you are acquainted.
I'm David, but I go by Pudgy. My character's name is Dorian Stone. He's a water genasi of medium build with dark blue skin covered in sea green markings like tattoos from an unknown language. His body is also covered in scars, particularly his back and at least one notably large scar down from his right shoulder across his chest that runs nearly the length of his torso. Yet another injury Dorian has no memory of acquiring. In fact, Dorian has no memory at all before 3 years ago when he was found by the Leviathan Brigade of the Caveliers, who rescued him when he washed to the shores from a shipwreck he also no longer recalls. Dorian is flirty, fluid, and sometimes a touch of flamboyant. When he grins, flashing his piranha-like teeth, he can frighten or charm in equal measure. He joined the Cavaliers as a way to honor those that had rescued and brought him to this beautiful land of Erlon. Clever, witty, and quick with a sword, Dorian has proven himself a capable soldier, a loyal companion, and still mysterious, but nonetheless stalwart friend.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. So, our tale continues. When last we left off last night, everybody except Teddy had found a small child crying in the woods and rescued her before she could be torn apart by the local wolves, and brought her to the beautiful village of Clairedell, where you discovered she was not poor, she was just misbehaving. And her parents, who are of modest but, decent wealth and means, put everybody up for the night, quite insisted that even the Firbolg share in what they had to offer, lovely sheets and a down bed. However, as the sun rises, the sense of urgency that you have a mission and you had not intended to stop for the night at all seeps into the back of your brains as the light starts to come up over the horizon. Down in the kitchens, you can smell breakfast being served, and you realize from the smells that there is no way you're getting out of here without having some. So, Chris, let's start with you. Lachlan, let's start with you.
So, as I smell the breakfast, I slowly roll out of bed and I don my warlock's garb, my commoner's clothes that we had, and I peek my head out of my room to see if there's anybody else stirring, and I don't see anybody else yet, so I go back in my room for a little bit longer and do some studying.
All right. And Caritas.
I am knelt beside my bed, spending my time in prayer. Getting myself aligned with my God for the day ahead. And all right, we're gonna need swift feet. Although if you could talk to Hermes, that'd be wonderful.
Nice. Darby.
Been up since a little bit before sunrise, just out of habit, and been was there to meet the first rays of the sun and just recover and meditate on nature and commune a little bit and replenish myself. Just pull my armor on and then pull on the commoner's clothes over top of it. Look down. Did a great job cleaning. I'll wait till we're out of town before I get them dirty again. And I head downstairs to breakfast.
And Dorian.
I've been awake since about sunrise, probably a little after. I've been just kind of like exploring my room and checking over everything and just.
Were you looking for something to purloin?
I was more or less looking for materials that I could use at some later point in time, just looking around.
Roll a 20 for investigation.
Can't take him.
Nope.
I've got a job and a good income.
We're 22.
Okay, so you do actually find something that fascinates you. It's a cuckoo clock with a bunch of gears, and when the clock strikes on the hour, these 12 little milkmaids come out, and there's a little lamb ahead that pops out of the top and goes meh, meh, meh. And you can tell that it's handcrafted, exquisitely created. And it absolutely has a ton of gears. Nice teeny tiny pins, real little stuff.
Metal or wood gear?
Both. It does have a little bit of metal gearing in it. It is mostly wood. It is mostly wood. But the little hands on the clock, for example, are like woven wrought iron. You know, they're real delicate little teeny tiny things, but they're fairly intricate. Everything about this clock was really exquisitely made.
I'm going to put on my armor, put on my common clothes.
Make a decision.
Why do you have to do that?
How big is it?
Yeah, that's actually a good question.
It's actually only about that big. It sits on the nightstand. It's clearly a bedside clock.
That's not a thing you're gonna fit in your pocket.
I have a backpack. But,
How are you gonna keep it? I'm not even gonna know. I'm just gonna let this go.
It'd go off at least once while we're having breakfast.
No, I can dismantle it. Yeah.
No input. Not our problem.
Yeah, you guys
This is
aren't
all
gonna
a
see
you
any
problem.
of this.
Yeah, it's not our
I'm
problem
gonna
until
do-
it goes off.
Try it again. Stop telling you what I want to hear, Dice. Oh, you bastard. Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and head down for
without pilfering the clock?
Yep.
All right.
Just gonna head to breakfast.
As you come out of your room, you briefly see Chris's poke his head out the door, but he was looking the wrong way down the hallway, so he pokes his head back in the door, and you just swiftly kind of like, nope, 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 we're just doing breakfast. Just sausage this morning. And as you make your way downstairs, I forgot her name.
You talking about Wendy? The lady who...
No, Wendy is
The maid, kind
the
of.
maid,
yeah.
yeah. I was talking about the lady of the house.
Greta?
Gretel. Yes.
Gretel
See-
Wilhelm.
You see Gretel at the bottom of the stairs, and she's knelt down trying to lace Bridgette's boots and scolding her. If you could please just keep these clean today. We have distinguished guests here, and I need you to behave yourself. You're going to give your father a coronary. And as soon as she sees you, she looks up and she goes, "Oh, my apologies. Thank you again for going out of your way to bring my daughter back. Breakfast is in the kitchen, and everybody, Wendy will get you all settled with some rations before you go. I just want to thank you again. I have to get her off to school now, but it was immensely nice to have company in the house." And with that, she reaches up and she grabs a coat off the rack, and she bundles Bridget into the coat and ushers her out the door with kind of a quickness.
Let's go. Come on.
Chris?
So as I hear all this at the bottom of the stairs after I'm in the middle of my studying, I leave and I join
Dorian, yeah.
Dorian downstairs, yeah. And I join right as she's leaving
Okay.
with Bridget.
Okay.
At this point, I'm antsy as shit. Waiting to eat breakfast. That's
I have
what
folded
noticed.
up the piece of parchment rather nicely and pulled my wax and stamp out and stamped it with my seal, which is just only a little bit different from my family's seal because I have yet to identify myself as anybody but an Olmus.
Okay.
It has my paladin sword on it.
Okay.
To make it mine. And I take it down. And I haven't quite pressed the seal shut because I like to settle a little bit of wax under the paper and then a little bit of wax on top so you can press it shut.
Mm-hmm.
And I hand it to Wilhelm and say, "Could you make sure your local post gets this back to my father as soon as possible?"
Oh, of course, of course.
It's that letter of recommendation for your contract to be renewed.
Oh, bless you. Bless your whole family. Let no one speak ill of the Olmus family. They take care of us. Most of the aristocracy isn't worth the spit to shine their shoes, but the Olmus family will be remembered fondly round these parts.
Wonderful.
Danira.
It's not in the house.
Oh, right. Wow, good job, Liz. Darby.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Danira, Darby, Dorian. No wonder I messed up.
This is the D domain.
Triple D.
It's a scary idea.
Dorian.
Yes. Sorry.
Darby.
Yes.
Teddy!
Darby.
Hey,
How's it going with you?
go into the kitchen, grab a few things, and start loading what rations were left for us into the back of the cart, trying to be pretty brisk about things. And obviously, this is a rather busy household, so bustle it all up. And
While you are bustling things into your cart and getting things organized, a young stable hand comes out. Hi there. I'm Jeffrey. I'm not supposed to let guests do this by themselves, but are you really a Firbolg?
Yeah.
That's so cool! Mostly hobgoblins around here. I had a bet with Sam. He said you couldn't be a Firbolg, but I said you were.
What is Jeffrey?
Oh, why wouldn't I be able to?
Hobgoblin, little hobgoblin boy.
And why wouldn't I be able to be a Firbolg?
Well, they say that Firbolgs never leave the farmland.
Well, how do you think the vegetables get to the markets?
Ah, see, I told you, Sam! I told you!
Besides, ever think that maybe we just don't want you to see us? And as I'm saying that, I use the hidden step and I just poof and disappear.
Oh, Sam, he did the thing! He's for real, he did the thing!
I'm gonna go back inside
Jeffrey
very
scampers
quietly
off
around
to-
the front, and I'm going to sit down at the counter and pick up a scone and eat it.
Jeffrey, as soon as you disappear, you know how permanent placement is not a thing with children. As soon as you disappear, he runs off to go tell Sam that you're really real. And Dorian, back to you.
Obviously I'm antsy for breakfast. No other reason. But I'm gonna go out in the kitchen and I'm going to grab some of the meat and everything and some eggs, and I'm just going to start eating it as I'm walking out the door.
So everybody's in the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. While you're all gathered in the kitchen, Wendy has several big baskets, and you notice it's mostly bread and hard cheese. There's a couple of
Yep.
hard salamis, not a lot of them, but there's a few. Some nice hard cheeses that aren't going to get nasty right away, and a bunch of bread. It's all wrapped up in cloth to keep it from drying out, and it's obvious that they don't do this very often because all of this stuff is in really nice picnic baskets. They didn't actually have a way to put together and give you rations in like a regular ration sack. So there are all these really nice, very prettily woven picnic baskets with the red and white checker and everything. And she calls out the door. Jeffrey, you little scamp! Get in here! You have chores to do! Jeffrey comes in. As soon as Jeffrey sees you, his eyes get like wide, like dinner plates. Like this little hobgoblin kid has never seen it. And he's just standing there in the doorway with his jaw hanging on the ground, and she runs over and scolds him. Come on, Jeffrey. Pay attention, boy. Now go take these out to the cart.
Should
And
have
so-
absent-mindedly
He seems
started.
Genasi, but never a Firbolg.
Genasi are a little bit more common. Firbolg are well known for only being farmers and never leaving their farms.
Okay.
We kind of got pigeonholed.
Yeah, they got pigeonholed as the country's, the whole nation. If there's food being grown in Erelon, it's probably being grown by Firbolg. And farms that are not run by Firbolgs don't actually do as well because it's just common knowledge that only Firbolg can grow food well. And unfortunately, they've been completely pigeonholed into that role. So seeing a Firbolg anywhere else doing anything else is just really unusual.
I have absent-mindedly taken to wiping counters.
Right.
Something I normally do when my mother's making breakfast.
Oh, well, breakfast is made, and you guys not only have had a chance to sit down, have some tea, or some coffee if you prefer, but Jeffrey has also gotten all of the baskets. There were 4 of them, one for each of you, into the cart. And so as you finish breakfast, or what's up next?
I'm just humming to myself.
whenever you all are ready, I'm gonna go climb up into the cart. I am. Until then, I'm gonna take a nap, lean back, put the hat over my eyes.
I'm ready whenever everybody else is.
I'm gonna sit here and finish up my breakfast, and as I'm finishing up my breakfast, I pull out a pair of pliers and just start flipping them around and playing with them while I eat.
Alright. So you guys eat, you finish your breakfast. After about 20 minutes, you hear Darby from the front of the cart. We going today or what?
Oh, I guess we should take our leave. I was kind of hoping Day would catch up with us.
Cats speak with animals and look at the horses. Guys, can we talk for a minute? So, I do understand them, by the way.
Mhm.
So, they're lagging ass. We're already late from helping that little girl. Would it be possible to go as fast as you can muster on the way up?
They acknowledge you, and whinny and start getting antsy.
Hey, the horses are getting a little bit, bored.
I take my seat up at the front and she probably got her time extended. Figured she would have caught up with us by now.
Everybody else loading into the wagon?
Yep.
All right. So the horses actually do take off at a fair clip. As you are leaving the town, they're a little bit slower, but that's because the road here, that side road that you took into this town, is not nearly as well paved as the main road that you're heading to.
Okay.
But as soon as they hit the cobbles again, they're like, all right, we're doing this thing. And here's the thing about that. It's a covered wagon. It doesn't exactly have the world's best struts. So the two of you in the back are going until your butt is numb.
Alright, I think at this point I'm probably gonna, look over at Lachlan and be like, can't you do anything?
Does it look like it? Fix the road.
But you're a wind genasi, light as a feather, man, light as a feather!
That doesn't help us on this road.
This keeps you from bruising your butt cheeks.
Yeah, it helps me, but it doesn't help the rest of you guys.
So
The other reason I put my armor on under.
At
the
least you know while we're
Commodore's
bouncing around, we've got hair that looks good. Free flow.
I do eventually slip into the back to try to, while bouncing, get back into my commoner's clothing.
okay.
There are a few unsightly, unseemly moments where I am bouncing around half naked in the back of a covered wagon.
So it takes about 4 hours to get from the end of the road to Claredell to the farmhouse. But as you guys have just about had enough of this rickety cart, you do see it up and to your left just a little bit. And it's very obvious that this is the place you're supposed to be. There are 5 horses hitched out front, and they are all wearing Cavaliers colors. Like their horse blanket has the rose that you've come to associate with the Cavaliers on it. And it does look exactly like the farmhouse that was described to you. And you're pretty sure you have arrived.
As the cart comes to a stop, I then begin trying to put my armor on.
Right
Which
as
one
we're
will be better?
since they're still bouncing around the back of the cart as we're pulling up to the house, right as we get into that last 100 yards, tell the horses to speed it up just a little bit and then slam the brakes.
Everyone roll a dex check,
Me too?
including you.
Yeah.
And here I was gonna
Hey,
say,
I'm an equal
put my armor on.
opportunity.
Oh yeah, you're not in the cart. No.
Okay.
That's
How far
okay.
no? How far no?
Let's see. That would be a whole whopping 10.
Okay.
I had my
Hey, if it had
pants
been any
halfway up
lower,
my
it
knees.
would have gone worse.
Had my pants up alongside my knees. My shirt's still over my head.
10.
Okay.
17.
17. When the horses stop, you go, oh shit! And you try to press yourself into the wagon, but it stopped so fast that your legs didn't have anything to pin against. And what wound up actually happening was both your feet shot straight out in front of you, kicking the both of them out the back of the wagon. You land fairly well on account of the fact that you're an air genasi, and it wouldn't be the first time you've randomly taken flight. You, however, were completely half in your clothes, and so you do this full tone.
Do my clothes at least make it to wherever I stop moving?
You and your clothes make it, and if anybody had seen this, the only surprising thing would have been that you didn't completely flop out of them. You did actually manage to stay more or less modest, considering your state of almost dressed.
I'm gonna stand up and
As
knock
in-
myself out.
Oh, by the way, 19.
19. You knew it was coming, so
Raced on the buckboard.
you braced on the backboard and you're like, and
Jump down.
as soon as the cart stops, you hear boom, boom, and as you turn around, you see two of your companions. You hear Dorian go, "Oh shit!" and Caritas and Lachlan go bouncing just straight out the back of the wagon.
As they go about rolling, I see the tuck and roll and everything. I will try and hold a straight face as I watch the half-naked paladin go rolling so gracefully across the ground. And walk up. Y'all alright?
As I land gently, I just glare at you, be like, really, bro?
What do you want? They got away from me.
Roll a deception check.
Deception check?
No, not you. You're not the one who just lied.
Okay.
16.
16. You buy it.
Well, they can oppose.
Oh yeah, you can oppose.
That's a
Would
roll.
that be a perception?
And you're, yeah. Oh wait. hold on.
Insight.
Insight. Yeah, insight. So you got to beat a 16 with adding your insight bonus.
Well, there's no bonuses, so here we go.
All right.
It is a nat 20.
That's a nat 20. You don't buy it for a second.
Yeah, bullshit.
Prove it.
You know I have animal handling and I'm proficient, right?
That doesn't mean anything. Do you speak horse?
I know when someone's handling the animal and when the animal is handling someone. The
Look,
animal's
your
not
sex life
handling
has
you.
nothing to do with this.
So as you're standing at the back of the wagon, you look up, and there you notice for the first time as you stand up, pulling your shirt all the way over your head,
Stepping over to the
stepping
cart,
over.
putting my armor on.
You see your sister. She's leaned up against a post of this house, just watching you all with this sort of bemused expression on her face.
What took y'all so long?
There was a small child and snow.
What was our reward for that?
When you guys left, Wilhelm actually, I thank you. I did forget about that. When you guys left, you actually were rewarded with a spyglass. It's mostly just a normal, regular sailor's spyglass,
Yeah.
but it does have a circle of sapphires at the end of it, and I'll leave the rest for you to discover later. But it's a fairly valuable spyglass. It's a nice one.
What kind of metal?
Brass.
Who has it?
Roll for it.
12.
That
Do we get any bonuses to the roll, or?
What was it?
Well, if it's going to jail,
What was it?
That was its second net one of the night.
Oh,
so yeah,
9. You got a what?
12.
12.
15.
15. Pudgy has it.
Oh, God.
Dorian has the.
Dorian
spyglass.
has the spyglass.
Brass sapphire inlay spyglass.
Yes. Alright.
That's not gonna last.
Yeah. Moving forward in time again, to where Teddy is looking at you all and laughing.
There was snow and a weeping child. It was a whole thing.
Of course there was, sister. Of course there was.
You know the daughter of the Crumbles? The ones who have the pies?
Yes.
Their daughter wandered off into the forest again and was weeping somewhat near the road, and we heard her.
She needs to learn how to climb the trees better.
First, she has to figure out how not to get lost.
Or to hide her scent from wolves.
Since you make your way into the farmhouse, you see that there are rooms here that are, everything is covered in sheets. Nobody actually lives here. It doesn't look like anybody has lived here in 100 years. There's dust everywhere. There is, however, on the table in the, what would have been the dining room, on top of the sheet, there is very clearly a piece of paper sitting there as if waiting for somebody to read it. And you notice it in part because it's probably the only thing that isn't dusty.
Head over towards it. Open up the letter. Looking around. Are we sure we didn't get blackballed out of the Caveliers and they just stuck us somewhere to forget about us? I know at least 3 faces in this room. They wouldn't mind that happening to.
Does anybody read the letter?
I'll go ahead and
Alright.
step up to read it.
So you read the letter and it says, Cavaliers. This is the part where you put on your uniforms and you take the horses instead of the cart. Leave the cart here, it will be returned to Cairne Dolmier. But make sure that you are in full regalia or you will not get within 100 yards of Cairne Dolmier. And these horses are faster.
Do they have good saddlebags?
They do.
Okay, so I make about.
They have professional soldiers barding on them, top to bottom.
So I will, while everyone else is reading and going over, I'm already in my uniform, in my regalia, so I am putting the rations that we were gifted into everybody's saddlebags. A little bit of meat, a little bit of cheese, a couple pieces of bread, making sure everybody has a pretty good splicing of what we were given, and then I bundle the rest up and stick it inside the door of the house to reload upon coming back this way.
Good call.
And I just get into my uniform and I want to explore the house, see if there's anything that I want to do an investigation check, see if there's anything I can find that stands out that can
Okay.
help us.
Please roll.
What are you doing?
6 total. Yeah, that
You
was-
don't notice anything in particular. Just about everything in this house has a sheet over it and is dusty. It looks like, if anything, this place is just pretty much used to do exactly what you guys are doing. Does anybody else, however, want to roll an investigation check
I
on the
do.
house? Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, what? D.
D20. It's gonna be a D20 most of the time.
16.
16.
Nice.
Nice.
Any bonuses?
That's a
We go and roll.
bonus.
Yes,
What? I rolled a 13.
Okay.
That's,
What words?
Does it go off of investigation, right?
yeah. Yours is 16 with your bonuses.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I was asking.
I was confirming for him.
Oh,
The bonus
them.
is investigation, correct?
Correct.
okay.
No, you're good.
You're good.
That was kind of weird, landing on its side and then fell over. But it would be a 13.
13.
I did not investigate. I'm
You
too
didn't
busy getting
investigate.
this oversized regalia on.
And did you investigate?
I did not.
You
I
did
spent
not.
my entire time making sure everybody's saddlebags were well prepared.
I put on my armor and investigated.
Teddy, you do notice something a little bit odd. While absolutely everything in this house seems to be covered with a sheet, there is one thing that isn't. Down the main hall on the first floor, there is a large painting at the end of the hallway. That painting shows a man standing there like this, holding a single rose. And he looks very, like he's clearly, this is a painting of a member of the aristocracy. He's got kind of a wry smile on his face. And it's like he's looking right at you, as if he can see you. But upon closer inspection, you do notice it is, in fact, just a painting.
Is it hiding a doorway?
It is not. If you go to look behind it, there doesn't appear to be anything there. But what you do notice is that it does seem a little strange that every mirror, every other picture in this house is covered up. Every lamp, every couch, every sofa, you know. But this one isn't. And so, anyway, is everybody all dressed in their shiny Cavalier uniforms?
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
You're better than me. That painting went with me.
While everyone was doing their investigations, I even took a moment to shine my lance.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so heading outside, everybody go ahead and roll an animal handling check to mount and start riding your horses.
Yeah, I'm professional.
Oh,
We're gonna try that again.
22.
22, beautiful. You swing right up onto your horse like you've been doing it every day of your life. You haven't, you've been
13.
doing it for the last 2.5 years. But you swing right up onto your horse, and your horse seems naturally like, hey, I like this dude. Kind of flicks his tail a little bit like he's happy.
It works for me. Just run my fingers through his hair. Yeah, not surprised. You and every other thing that has fur on the planet.
13.
13. You notice that your plate mail doesn't make it super easy to get on the horse, but you don't really have any trouble. And your horse looks back at you like, you good? You sure you're good?
And I just look back with it and knowing I'm fine. It's just been a little while.
Even with my proficiencies, I got an 8.
Oh no!
Snap.
Yeah, I got the temperamental one or something, and
The
it
back
just
of the
doesn't
cart?
like me.
You bounced around in the back of the cart for 4 straight hours. You've been in this house maybe 15 minutes. Your legs are jellified. Your bum is jellified. When you first put your foot into the stirrup to try to swing onto the horse, your whole body is just like, nope. And I'll get back to you in a minute. What'd you roll?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You swing onto your horse with no problem. You even realize that you've got enough room to like reach around into your saddlebag and get into anything, you know. Well-made saddle. That much you notice. There's nothing really on here that could be used as a part, but you do spend some time just admiring the tacks that hold the saddle together. That's some good craftsmanship right there.
What are they made of?
Brass.
Okay.
I rolled a 17.
17. Yeah, you've got no problem. You did not get bounced around for 4 hours in the back of a cart. You are well rested. You have been here ever since Captain Dash Candor had a mage teleport you here so that you could meet up with the party. You've just been sitting on your ass this whole time like, do. You are rested and ready to go.
Yep, and I already picked out my horse and gave it a snack.
Aw, lovely. Chris, roll it. Try again. Try again.
I need to try something because that was just terrible.
That was bad.
18.
Nice. Okay, you're like, all right, we're gonna do this thing. You grab the horn, put your foot on it, and it does take you some effort insofar as you're hurting, but you got no problems the second time. You swing right up into the saddle, and you notice it's fairly comfortable, at least more comfortable than the back of the wagon. On the back of the letter that was on the table, there is a rough hand drawn map that does show you the road to Cairne Dolmier. And so, everybody taking off?
Yeah.
Whoa! You guys,
Who's carrying the map?
roll for it. Or did you guys leave it there? You have that option.
Oh. I think we should bring it just to be safe.
Yeah, I would have brought
What's
it.
the bonus? What's the bonus?
We're just rolling
We're
initiative.
just rolling
it's-
whoever has the
okay.
highest number.
Yeah.
5, so you got an 18.
2.
2,
18.
17, 18.
17.
Would the two of you roll again? 2.
13.
Dorian is good at putting things in his pockets. I'll tell you what.
Good thing it wasn't a pocket watch.
No. There are worse things I could have taken besides the pocket watch.
Clock.
Y'all don't know about my clock. Leave me alone.
So you guys take off, and according to the map, it's only going to be about another 2.5 hours until you reach the city gates of Cairne Dolmier. And that part of the trip goes completely uneventfully until about a mile out. And mile out, you run across a guard gate at the side of the road, and a single soldier dressed in what can only be described as an almost obnoxious blue and yellow. It's got the puffy sleeves where you've got the pleats, and it's blue on the outside and yellow in the pleat, and blue on the outside, yellow in the pleat. He's got one of those big stiff collars, and it doesn't look like his uniform is comfortable at all. You guys' uniforms is for moving and fighting and doing stuff. His uniform is clearly for show. He's got fucking ruffles on his sleeves, and he stands out, and he does have a spear with him. He stands out and he puts his pike in the road and says, "Stop in the name of the Queen!"
Stop. Okay. Size this guy up. Okay, we're stopped. Now what?
I stop and dismount.
What's your business in Cairne Dolmier?
The Queen's business.
Caveliers here for the retrieval of the prince.
Cavaliers. Oh, Cavalier. Oh, they're gonna demote me again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is how I got out here in the first place. And he dejectedly kind of just drops his lance and sort of shuffles off back to his guardhouse, leaving you all to continue into the city.
Is it okay if I tell him that we'll forget it if he does?
Oh, of course, yeah.
I don't think there's a need to forget it.
Well, I mean, that way he doesn't get in trouble and get demoted.
Well, if we reported him.
Yeah, only if we reported him, and I don't
Okay,
think any of us
yeah,
were
we're
planning
not
on reporting him.
And we're Cavaliers doing exactly what we were told to do. Even if he did report us, we would not get in trouble.
I
But
thought
he
we were
would.
supposed to disclose
But
like
he
our
would.
mission to people.
We weren't supposed to while we were in disguise.
Yeah, you
Okay.
couldn't be seen leaving Cairne de Gale now that you're here at Cairne Dolmier.
Yeah.
Things are a little different.
Okay, so now that we're in uniform, we can actually disclose.
Right. No way they're gonna let a bunch of commoners come in and grab the prince. So
Yeah.
that's why you had to change into uniform and shit. Anyway,
Okay.
it was just his complete inability to pay attention to the details that caused him to stop you in the first place. Otherwise, you'd have just, under normal circumstances, you'd have been able to go right in.
Okay.
And you do reach the gates of Cairne Dolmier. Now, Cairn Tintagale is gorgeous. It's palatial. white marble, beautiful avenue streets. It's an ancient city and it's elegant in every sense of the word. But Cairne Dolmier is a fortress. Its walls are big granite blocks. It looks entirely imposing from every possible angle. The walls are very high, they're very thick. You notice this when you go through the gates, that these walls have to at least be 10 feet thick. Unlike Cairne Dolmier, this is not a trading port. This is clearly built on a military outpost. As you go through the center of the streets, you do see lots of shops and lots of commerce and things going on, but it's not got that festive feel that, you know, Cairne Dolmier is a genteel place. This place, not so much. Did you guys want to get down and dismount and do anything on your way to what is clearly the main fortress palace on the hill?
No.
No? Just headed straight to the fortress?
I got to work.
Yep.
Alright.
I want to pull out the spyglass and look around.
Roll a perception check.
Does it go off of my passive perception?
No, you're gonna roll regular perception for this.
Okay. Never mind, that one.
You pull out your spyglass and you go to look, but you weren't really paying attention to the direction you aimed it, so what you see is a face full of cherry tree. When you drop the glass down, that cherry tree is a hell of a ways away, but not so far away that you would need a spyglass to see it, so you just wound up with, like, face full of cherry tree trunk, and that was all you saw. Oh, okay. Put it back in your pocket.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it back in the bag and just continue riding. At least it didn't slap me in the face.
So you come up big, wide road that it slopes up as you get to the main door of the fortress. And as soon as you get to the main door, there's no guards out here. There's actually doesn't seem to be anybody to let you in at all. And you noticed about a quarter of a mile back, the streets are just empty. All the commerce was down in the town. Once you started climbing the hill, there was nothing.
Dismount. Look for someplace to tie up my horse.
You do see a hitching post. There's no horses tied up there at the moment, but there is a bar on the right side of the gate that seems pretty clear it's for hitching up horses.
Tie up my horse and bang on the door with the butt of my spear.
Nothing happens.
Try and push it open.
Go ahead.
How tall is the wall around the door?
Around 15 feet tall. Anybody else gonna bang again? The door does not open when you push it.
Yeah, it's probably really heavy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try the handle.
And it pops right open. It pops right open, but only because when you put your hand on the handle, your fingers accidentally brushed up against a little mechanism that released the door. And it seems pretty obvious to you that you weren't supposed to find that. Like, that's not common knowledge that there's a mechanism to open that door. It was very obviously sort of placed up under the handle where you wouldn't be likely to find it. But the door swings open, and you find yourself facing a massive foyer. It's got black and white checker marble floor, big old chandelier on the ceiling. This place is fancy dancy. In fact, on the inside, it's at least as fancy as anything you've ever seen in Cairne Dolmier. There's the embroidery on all the furniture is top-notch quality. There isn't a stitch or hair out of place, as near as you can tell. And at the top of the stairs, you hear a voice. I say,
Caritas Olmus of the Queen's Caveliers.
Oh, oh. And you're all Cavaliers, I assume.
Yes.
I suppose that means the Queen sent for me.
Fortunate or unfortunate for you, yes, that is the case.
Sink me. If I didn't know this day was coming. Well, we simply can't leave until I'm fully packed. So you will have to make yourself at home. Because I can't go without my gloves. And my hat. Anyway. Do sit down. Make yourselves comfortable.
Should I off to the kitchen to make something to eat while you do your packing? I'm sure you'd like to eat before the long journey back to Cairne Dolmier.
My dear lady, I have already eaten. I was just finishing my breakfast.
All right then.
I do have a question. Where are all the townspeople?
Oh, they don't come up here. They're not interested in my poetry, as it happens. And I can't say that I really have much to offer the common folk. The man before you is tall, 6'4", mop of curly blonde hair that kind of comes down around his face, piercing blue eyes. What is interesting is that you all know that the Queen is 93. And this is her younger brother. And at best, he looks like he's maybe 45, 50. He seems to be a lot younger than she is, which is not really what anybody was expecting. But other than that, nothing else seems to be out of order. In fact, when you go and you look at the picture of him that you were given to make sure you were big enough, it does even match. And he bustles off and he goes to finish packing. And what you see next is an absolute line of footmen. I mean, 2 by 2, they march up and down the stairs, and they are taking trunks, and they are taking suitcases, and he appears to be packing up the entire house.
Oh, this is not going to work. Somebody got some rope?
Oh, sink me, darling. I did not think that you could possibly slow down long enough for all my luggage. So I'm having these shipped ahead. Of course, they will arrive behind. But you understand. I have a horse of my own. She's a beauty. Would you like to see?
Oh, absolutely.
Ah,
Perhaps you could read me
Smirk
some
a
of your
little bit,
poetry.
sure.
And perhaps you could read me some of your poetry while we're on our way.
ah, a fellow lover of the arts.
Obviously, you know my parents.
And
With my passive perception, am I picking anything up?
with your passive perception, no. But
Okay.
if you would like to roll an investigation check, I can let you do that.
Short.
Same.
Facing a 31.
I'm an Olmus. I'm gonna schmooze.
I got 15.
15.
I want to go talk to the horse.
14.
14. You don't see anything. You, however, do notice at the end of the main hallway is a painting with a woman in it. And it seems to be made in very much a similar style to the previous painting in the farmhouse, which is odd because these places are nothing alike. And this one is of a young girl, and she has 2 roses sort of draped over her arm, and she's cradling it like a baby. It does strike you as a little odd.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, nothing here seems amiss either.
All right.
I, after noticing that, just go along to the horse so that somebody doesn't get to have an adventure of meeting a pretty horse without me.
And you said you were very interested to check out the horse. when you get out to the stables, those of you who are headed to the stables, it is a beauty. All black, gorgeous stallion. You can tell from the way it holds its head, the way it holds its hooves. He's well groomed, well taken care of. If you've ever seen an animal that was clearly doted upon, this animal is doted upon.
Move towards towards the horse, being cautious about it. Speak with animals because it would have worn off by now.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually can answer basically in common.
I know.
It's like, so, what's the deal with His Royal Highness?
He's not what he appears.
Fill me in a little bit here. The Queen wants him.
I am Her Majesty's royal entrusted steed. I cannot, for I have orders not to. You wouldn't be the first steward to try. I'm sure you will not be the last.
I'm sure I won't either. Not as long as you've got this station.
In the stables where the big stallion is, you do notice that there are a lot of really, really pretty horses in here. Prince Percival Windermere may not be much with people, but it's very obvious he dotes on these horses. They are, every single one of them, well brushed, well fed. You can feel the care and love that goes into these horses. In fact, these horses are even a little bit better taken care of than the soldiers' horses that you all have outside. Other than that, however, there's really not much to notice, and Percy swings up onto his stallion, and he looks down at all of you. What? It seems we should be off, should we not?
To Cairne Dolmier.
Oh, and my sister. And you'll mount up your horses and you start heading back down the main road. The prince quite insists on leading from the front, and he also quite insists on not letting his horse trot, so you are stuck at a walk up this road. All the way through Cairne Dolmier, out the gate, past the guard gate. Some of you are probably so antsy to make some time that your horses can feel it and they're like doing the sideways dance.
I'm gonna speak to Lachlan and Primordial and be like, hey, think this dude's a dick?
Little bit.
I don't know. I think he's dragging ass.
I'm casting sleep.
No.
You wouldn't understand it.
I'm casting sleep on Percy.
We're casting sleep on Percy.
Yes.
Damn.
We are just done.
You know this shit got serious.
You see the pound. I lift my hand and you'll forgive me. And that is a spell save of 15. It's a wisdom save.
There's always the chance of a 1.
It's 13. What was it? What was
15.
15. He, appears to fall asleep in his saddle. And his horse, to be fair, does look somewhat relieved and starts picking up the pace at something resembling normal.
As we're going, I'm going to cast Entangle and lash him to his saddle so he doesn't fall off onto the road. And put a blanket over top of him so it looks like we're just transporting a horse. They don't know why we have a prince strapped to a horse going
They
to the
said we had to bring
countryside.
him back in one piece unharmed, not in a good mood.
Right? Would you look to tell me how long sleep lasts?
Sleep lasts technically for 1 minute.
Okay. Okay.
But
Because
it's
we're
long enough
not
to get him
in
entangled?
combat. Because we're not in combat. It actually lasts for about an hour.
Long enough to get him solidly entangled.
Right. However, about midday, your horses seem tired. They have run fairly hard. They ran all the way to Cairne Dolmier, and now they're almost halfway back. You have passed the farmhouse where you picked them up, and they seem like they need water. They are starting to slow down on their own accord.
Any streams nearby?
Roll investigation. No, I'm sorry. Roll perception to hear the bubbling of a brook.
Is this for my passive initiative?
No,
Gotta
just
love
regular
me.
perception.
18.
18.
You'll forgive me.
18.
Thank you.
Good night, sweet prince.
23.
Yes, you guys do hear a bubbling brook not too far from the road. You can't see it from the road, but you can hear that there's water nearby.
What do you guys think? Take a short rest? Make it easier to knock the prince out again if we have to.
I was gonna say, yeah, let's take a rest. We can start a small fire, cook up some food if we have any, or go forage for something more.
You guys have all
interesting.
those cheese and bread rations.
Yeah, but if we wanted something more than just cheese and bread, we could go foraging or hunting for something.
Okay.
That was more than.
I'm gonna
just
tend to
rations.
the prince.
Okay.
As the one who put him to sleep and got him all tied up, I'm, by the Firbolg, I'm gonna.
I was
Do you
just
need any
saving
food?
myself healing later, I'm not lying.
Do you need any food? I'm sorry to do this, but we do need to make good time. And I will put you back to sleep so you can sleep your way through this unfortunate journey. But do you want any food while we're at it?
My dear, I've never been so mistreated in all my life. But, I am a bit piqued. I suppose if you have any food, I could eat it.
I get into my pack and I pull out some of the very nice food that I brought from home.
Is anybody going to unlash the prince from his saddle at this point?
No.
I'm actually going to go over and untie him from the saddle. Put you to sleep. I didn't want you to hit the ground.
What did you roll for?
I rolled to see if there was any fruit trees nearby. I got a... where'd it go? A 12.
There does appear to be a pear tree, actually not far. It's growing wild, it's old, and its branches have gone like a billion directions. It's clearly never been pruned, but it's a pear tree.
I don't feel like climbing it, so I get my horse to walk over there so I can stand on the saddle and pick some.
Okay. I don't think you have to roll any. Did you want to pick a specific amount?
Enough for everyone to have one and then 2 for later.
Okay. Okay.
I am presenting a raspberry and pomegranate pavlova with a couple of croquembouche to the prince.
Lay it out to do me, sister.
It was in my pack in a little box that I keep really nice foods for myself. But he's a prince and I have subjected him to a quite unpleasant trip, so I'm giving him some good food.
In spite of the monstrous conditions of our travel, I must say, you seem to be a woman of impeccable taste. And he takes the food from you, and just as he does, you guys hear in the distance, "Woo!" And you can see, if as you look in the direction of the sound, there's a lot
There goes my plan.
of wood elves. Bows and arrows knocked, and they are coming right for you guys.
I'm grabbing the reins of his horse and mounting mine and catch up!
Roll an animal handling check twice. You have to control both
I'm right
animals.
next to him. My only thought is I need to get him there in one piece. And for me, that was a total of 21, and for him, or for the other one, it was a total of 13.
You got a 13.
I got
To
13.
control his own
Oh.
animal.
I got a disadvantage. That's what I got.
No, you had 2 horses to control. Yours
Okay, I got
and
a
his.
21 and a 13.
And he's still on his, and technically still has the reins.
Though he is not tied to it anymore.
What? I thought we. There's a.
No, I did
specific-
come over and untie him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine though. He was still on it.
I've just got the horse by like the very front bit of its mouth. I'm sorry, my friend. Let's go.
He needed to be untied. He was conscious.
Don't have to get him there in a good mood. I just have to get him there in one
What
piece.
did you roll again for him?
13 and a 21 for myself.
Okay. Okay. He does seem rather miffed as you grab the horse. What is everybody else doing?
I'm on the other side of the field, still trying to react between. I have all these pairs. What do I just throw them at the elves or just hold them in my saddle?
They're not in throwing range. They are still on their way down to you, but they're a couple of 100 yards off.
Okay. As I'm actively standing on my saddle, I just turn and plop back down into it and dropped my extra pairs, but still we have enough for everyone to have one, and just shove those into my personal pouch, and then come out with the dagger that I had already in my hand because I like to eat mine off of it.
Roll a dex check to hold on to your pairs and an animal handling check to keep control of your horse.
I'm pulling a small piece of parchment out of one of the pockets of my paladin's robes, and I'm going to hold on to it and whisper a quick prayer, and I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on the prince, and it's going to give him a +2 to his AC for the next 10 minutes, as long as I can focus on that spell.
Okay.
Which will give me plenty of time to get him the fuck out of here.
Derby, what are you doing?
You're not on your horse, you got down.
Yep. It's gonna take me a full round action to mount that horse too.
But you do have time, although they are barreling down fast. They haven't fired any arrows because they know that they're still out of range.
Going to get on my horse and haul ass.
Okay. Lachlan.
I am gonna do the same because I never got off the horse, so I'm just sitting there watching all this.
Okay.
And I take off behind Darby, and I kind of have my short sword drawn just in case.
Okay.
And I just kind of ride away as fast as I can.
And Dorian.
I haven't even gotten off my horse yet, so
So you take off with them, like right behind them?
I'm gonna go into stealth, and then,
You can't go into stealth on a horse. The horse cannot stealth with you.
damn, 30 horse. All right, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take off.
Okay.
I rolled an 11 for my pairs and an 18 for my horse.
Okay. In spite of the fact that you had only intended to drop a couple of pairs, all but 2 pairs hit the ground as you, just kind of take your feet and move them from the top of the saddle and just plop back down.
Yep.
And you rear your horse around and you take off after the group as fast as you can. And everybody give me another animal handling check.
I got
Really?
dirty 20.
Natural 1.
23.
That is a 19.
7.
What's yours?
I got a total of 20.
Total of 20. Your horse steps in a divot in the road, and as over tea kettle you go. And because you were right behind him, your horse actually fails to make the jump properly to avoid his buddy, and also goes ass over tea kettle. And the two of you are sprawled out on the road as the rest of the group continues forward. Dorian, what do you do?
Okay.
I'm gonna pull on my reins and go back to try and help them.
How injured is my horse?
Your horse is already rolling back up. He does.
Hold on to the saddle for dear life. I'm just gonna hold on to the saddle. It'll pull me right back up with it.
Okay. What did you
I'm
do?
still well behind, so I'll just draw my crossbow.
Okay. Okay.
And my horse is stood back up, so I just jump back on my horse and continue to ride with my short sword, kind of like I have a hand ready on it, but I'm still controlling my horse at the
Okay.
same time.
In the time it took your horses to both fall and get back up, you have basically almost caught up to the group. You were like here, and now you're like here.
Mm-hmm.
And the wood elves, which had been coming from sort of this way, are also gaining on you.
Mm-hmm.
And the prince has spurred his horse and has gotten well ahead of you.
Good. That is what I'm doing. I am chasing his horse. Like,
Okay.
get, go!
Okay.
My point is to get him as far away from them as possible.
It doesn't take very long. The prince, spurring his horse, yeah, takes off, and basically disappears around a bend in the road as all of you chase him. And now, finally, you can. A couple of arrows start going.
My animal handling was a 19.
Your animal handling was a 19. Okay. You continue to try to chase the prince, trying barely. He is still almost in your eyesight. Like, you know he's not that far ahead of you.
I'm gonna spur my horse a little harder.
Okay.
Same, I just spur my horse a little harder and faster and try to see if I can get the hell out of there.
Okay. Roll an animal handling.
I got a 20.
You got a 20. You are actually really doing a great job. You've got control of this horse. You are caught up to the main portion of the group. The
I
prince.
picked the best horse out of the group. I spent over an hour hanging out with all of them, being like, which
9.
one is going to do me the
9.
best?
9. Your horse is favoring one leg. When he tripped over the other horse, it's clear that he injured himself. Probably not a break because he's still up and moving, but you are slowing down somewhat significantly. You are now at the back of the pack with Teddy. Go ahead and roll an animal handling.
I already did. It was
Okay.
a 23.
23. You are almost neck and neck. Well, you are. You're neck and neck with Caritas, trying to trying to stay in sight of the
I'm gonna kill
prince.
the horse.
The prince, for his part, go ahead and roll a perception check. And Caritas, roll a perception check also.
No.
13.
13. No and no. You
Yeah, that's
both
a no.
you both lose track of him around a bend. He has cut off the road itself and into the woods. And now y'all cannot see him. Roll an animal handling check.
15.
15. You're fine. You are.
As I'm like keeping track of it, so I see his horse being a little bit lame. Going to cast Cure Wounds on his horse.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Like, I'd already rolled because his horse was suddenly next to me and not 10 feet in front of me. And so I rolled for healing hands and I got
Oh no, you don't have to roll for healing hands for ASMR. It's you touch a creature and give it 3 extra hit points.
You do, however, have to roll a dex check for trying to reach out and touch a moving animal while you're moving.
Okay,
That is
well,
the thing you would have to roll.
That you would have to roll.
Okay,
But you were going to cast Cure Wounds from a distance, so you don't have
Yeah,
to touch
because that has range.
Go ahead and roll the hit points.
Well, I got a 16.
You got a 16 on your dex. Okay. And go ahead and roll for hit points.
Well, it's a pool of 3 hit points.
Yeah, it gives them 3 bonus hit points.
Okay.
Yep. So you just
Add 3 hit points.
to the horse.
To the horse. He wasn't super injured anyway.
And you get that
Okay.
back on I believe, a short
It
rest.
gets 1d8 plus my spellcasting ability modifier.
Long
That's
rest.
nice, actually.
That is nice.
Let's see.
Can I roll a perception check for my horse?
Sure.
My horse would know that I was in hot pursuit.
6 plus 5, so 11.
Okay.
Not bad.
11 plus 3. So, as if by magic, as it turns out it was, your horse stops favoring that right front foot and kind of like with an extra burst of speed catches back up to the group. However, the prince has now completely disappeared from everybody's sight. He's gone.
Well, the perception check I rolled for my horse to be able to keep on him was a 12.
Okay. Okay.
How close am I
Not a
to
chance.
Doran?
Dorian was kind of out front. You're behind him, but not by a ton.
Like, am I within shouting distance?
Yes, you can shout.
So I shout at him, see what he can look. I know it's the woods are a little thick, but use the spyglass, see if you can see him through the woods.
Is it? You said it was dark outside. A spyglass isn't gonna work.
No.
It's dark outside.
It's thick. The woods might be a little thick with the woods,
Oh yeah.
but look, see if
But
you
it
can
was-
use the spyglass to look through the woods.
It was
and
only
see.
between 4 and 4:30 in the afternoon when you guys stopped for a break, and you were attacked almost immediately.
Okay, so,
So-
daylight.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
but the light is fading fast. That might have something to do with why you lost the print, because the light it's winter, so the light is going down now.
Yeah, so I holler to you, see if you can use the spyglass and see if you can see him through
As
and give
Cavaliers,
us a
do we have sending
direction.
stones?
Okay.
Not yet.
See if you can like see him and give us a direction.
I was going to see if I could see if my horse could see him, but I'll try the spyglass. Why
Okay.
not?
Roll perception with advantage.
Perception with advantage
Means roll it twice and take the higher number.
Okay. 8.
You don't see a thing.
Yeah.
You don't see a thing.
Do we know where he branched off of the road?
Everybody roll a.
I'm gonna roll an investigation check to look for hoof prints.
You can roll whatever is your highest.
Wait, there's snow on the ground.
There is a, but it's like light.
Yeah, that's not.
A
Light.
dusting of snow's still gonna have hoof prints in it.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You said what you were saying. Whatever is higher.
Between what?
Oh, where was I?
Investigation.
Yeah, like you can roll perception or investigation depending on which you've got the better score on.
Perception.
I got an 18.
You've got an 18.
I was
okay.
gonna roll survival and try and track his ass, or use nature.
You can do
I
that.
got an
That's
18
actually
as
good
well.
too.
18.
So would it be survival or nature if you're trying to
Whichever's
has the
higher.
they're the same?
I'm officially hunting him.
I'm gonna go with
17. Trying to
26.
track him.
Nice.
I'm gonna go with survival, and I got a 13.
You're fortunately with the group. You veer off in what looks like kind of more like a deer path. You all veer off the road onto the deer path. And while your horses don't seem to know exactly where they're going, so they have slowed down a little bit, they're still keeping a pretty steady pace because you still have arrows. Is anybody gonna do anything about the fact that you are still being chased down by angry wood elves?
I am going to wait until I hear the whizzing of another arrow, and I'm gonna turn my shoulder into it so it deals damage.
Okay.
I need damage dealt.
Yeah.
I can't do a thing until damage is done.
Got it.
And because I am who I am, I'm not going to push anybody else into the path of an arrow. That's not who I am. It's not like I'm gonna grab Teddy and be like, here, get shot for me.
Take 7 points of damage.
Cool, and in doing so, I'm going to use Rebuke the Violent.
Okay.
It's a channel divinity. A creature other than... Oh, against a creature other than you. That's okay, they weren't attacking me directly. Were they? Were they shooting at me, or did they hit me on accident?
They appear to be shooting right at you.
Okay. Well, if you want to give it to me...
They're
it's
shooting
a
right
DC
at everybody, but...
If you want to give it to me, it's a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw. But that's DM's discretion.
I'll let you.
Alright.
I'll let you.
Then, if you fail, that particular archer takes 7 points of damage as well.
Okay. And
Half on a failure.
I gotta roll a what?
DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Takes radiant damage equal to the damage it just dealt, or half on a success.
Oh yeah, not a chance in hell. That was a 5. You notice that the elf that fired at you suddenly veers off to the left and just kind of disappears into the trees. Not interested in taking another one of those.
I rolled an 18 for either acrobatics or animal handling to literally turn around in my saddle while we're riding.
Okay, that's gonna be acrobatics, and you rolled an 18.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Make sure you call the. Make sure we talk before you roll.
Heard.
Got it.
Okay. Got it. So I wanted to turn around because I already have my bow hitched, and so
Right.
I didn't want to turn and fire. I wanted to trust my horse to follow the other horses and be able to face my targets.
So you did one of those like little flippy things where you just flipped yourself to ride backwards in the saddle to fire.
Yes.
All right, roll a fucking hit, and I assume you're headed for the one that's closer. There's like 20, 30 wood elves out here.
Yeah, I'll just aim for. I don't feel confident trying to fire 2 arrows at once while moving, so
Fair.
that's just the closest one.
The closest one.
Oh, I rolled it. I miss.
As your arrow goes winging past his head, his arrow also goes winging right past yours.
Okay.
So you are exchanging fire while backwards in the sea. How are you?
Are any of them within 30 feet of me?
Yeah, like just barely. They are now just in range. There's probably 2 at the very front of the pack that are.
Perfect. I just need one of them because we're in the woods. There's lots of trees. This will work out great for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cast Thorn Whip.
Nice.
Whichever one is closest to me.
Okay.
Just reach by, grab a piece of like a raspberry bramble or something like that, and use it and wing it at him and use it to cast Thorn Whip.
Okay. Roll to hit.
11.
Roll for damage.
Roll for damage. Damage is 1d6, and they're moved 10 feet closer to me in a direction. So it's 3, and I want to pull them towards a tree on their way towards me. Face first into it, if possible.
Nice. That works brilliantly. Your thorn whip snakes out along the ground, actually wraps around the horse's hoof, and as you're pulling forward, it just completely does basically what your horse did earlier. It goes ass over tea kettle, and you actually see him kind of like pop off the saddle and does a George of the Jungle to boom right into the tree. He falls over. Do you keep looking at him?
Yeah.
If you keep your eyes on him, you'll notice after a moment, he gets up, he gets back on his horse, and as the previous guy had, he peels off, but he peels off to the right. Everybody go ahead and roll me another animal handling check?
19?
19, beautiful.
15. 15. Makes sense that I roll a little lower. I've got an arrow in my shoulder.
Hit that 20.
Nice.
9. I am not doing well
I'm
with
leaning
these
into my
animal
horse and
handling.
trusting him, but I am definitely feeling the, oh,
My
this
horse
prince
just
better
doesn't
be
like me
worth
or
it.
something because I'm failing these animal handling checks.
Your horse is a little skittish.
Technically got
It's been a hot
24,
minute
but I
since
got a
somebody
nat
fired
20.
arrows at them. But rather than kicking you off the horse, your horse just seems to be listing off kind of to the left. You're having a hard time getting your horse to want to stay with the rest of the group. He kind of wants to bolt off in his own direction. So that's slowing you down a little bit. He's kind of fighting you, but he has not thrown you. And everybody, since you're still being chased and you're still being fired upon, roll a perception check.
18.
18, beautiful.
1.
1, 8.
Oh, those ones they make for
And
great
this is
stories.
what, perception?
Perception.
And that would be a 14.
17.
17. You,
Yeah, I got a 1 plus my regular perception, so I got a 5.
so Darby, Caritas, and Lachlan, when you go to turn around to see the wood elves behind you, one of the things that you notice is that you're well off the road now, right? And there is kind of a gully, kind of off to the right. And in that gully, there's a big sort of rock formation down there. And you see the prince off of his horse with his rapier drawn, and he's backed all the way up against the rocks. And there's 2 wood elves with pikes closing in on him.
As I close in on him, because I'm still moving, right?
You are.
I
Very high
am.
rate of speed even.
See, I am going to. Let's see, what's my range? Am I within 60 feet of him?
You are. But
Okay.
just barely, and do know that the terrain is a little weird. You are within 60 feet of him. You don't, as you're moving, have a consistently clear line of sight on him, just to make you aware.
That's okay. I know where he is, and I'm using that piece of parchment again, and I am going to recast. Using my last spell slot, I'm going to recast Shield of Faith. He's going
Okay.
to shimmer again and gain an additional 2 to his AC.
Okay?
As I'm bearing down as hard and fast as I can, lance in hand.
Lance in hand. Dorian.
How close am
Look
I?
intimidating.
You are actually fairly close. While you did not see the prince, it would be almost impossible for you to miss Caritas moving off to the side and jumping off of her horse. So you're not that far, maybe 15, 20 feet behind.
I'm gonna go ahead and. What should I do? I'm gonna go ahead and pull out one of my daggers
Okay.
while I'm riding the horse.
What is the throw on daggers? I think you've got. You're
2060.
in range if you wanted to throw that.
2060, I think it's like anything beyond 60 is at a disadvantage.
Yeah, but he's only like 15, 20 feet away.
Oh,
yeah.
see, I wasn't even thinking about throwing it, but yeah, I mean, I could.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't have to. You're not obligated.
Okay, I was actually thinking that I wanted to dismount my horse and
Okay.
kind of like jump, like stand up on it, jump off the saddle, hit the ground running kind of deals, and just use dash to go towards the enemy.
I love it. Roll an acrobatics check. Darby.
Are they within 20 feet?
What did you roll on that last check? It was an 18. Yes, they are within 20 feet. In fact, you're a little bit closer than 15 feet.
Cool, that means I'll get advantage throwing a spear at them.
Right on. So you could have.
I'm going to wait and see which one he attacks and
Okay.
go for the other.
Okay,
I got a 22.
you got a 22. So your maneuver, it went exactly as you pictured it in your head. That was a freaking beautiful dismount. You're like, yeah, I was training for this my whole life. And you are up and ready to throw that dagger or stabby somebody,
Well, I
whichever
was
you
gonna,
prefer.
like I said, as soon as I hit the ground, I was gonna do a dash,
Mhm.
and just dash towards that enemy.
Okay.
As I'm coming up on him, let me know when it's my turn.
Okay. But
Did he get his attack off, or I thought he was going to be in range to attack them.
you are in range, and that was you're a rogue, so that was only bonus movements. Well, it was movement, not action. So yes, the attack.
Oh,
Actually,
so I can attack? I didn't think
everybody
I
was
could.
kind of supposed to roll initiative, and I forgot that part.
Is it time to roll initiative?
Yeah, let's roll initiative.
Okay.
The shiny silver dice. Puts me at a 14.
14,
10.
10,
I got a 6.
6.
Initiative is plus as whatever's on the dice plus your proficiency, right?
Correct.
Dirty 20.
21.
21.
Oh wait, plus what?
Bing, 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 bing.
Your dex,
Or
yeah,
bing.
it's a dex check, so you get a +6.
Oh,
all right.
And I
I
got
said if I
10.
get a dex check to it, then it would be the.
Your initiative is
Yeah.
right there.
So I got a 24,
Okay.
sorry.
So
I got an
you
8.
have the first attack, which kind of makes sense because you were lagging just a little bit behind, and you can kind of see everybody. What are you doing next?
See, I was trying to look it up, but I can't find it in here. I want to cast poison spray, but I wanted to look it up and see what it does exactly, and I can't find it in here.
Okay. Spells are always in alphabetical order.
Yeah, and I've noticed it goes PL and then PO, and then it should be right. Oh, there it is. Oh. I was just looking over it. Wow.
Wow, your perception is
It's because
off.
they put the start of poison spray on the bottom of
On
one
the
column
bottom
and
of
the
one
rest of it
column,
on
yeah.
the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Bad typographer.
you extend your hand toward a creature you can see within range and project a puff of noxious gas from your palm. And then the creature must succeed a Constitution saving throw or take 1d12 poison damage.
Okay. Is that an area effect or a targeted attack?
10 feet is the range.
Hold on, let me see that real quick. Instantaneous. Okay, are you attacking the wood elf on the left or the right of the prince?
The one to the right.
Okay,
Or as close, without hitting him.
roll for damage.
And it's just the it's the just a d12, right?
Yeah,
Or
1d12 plus, I think it had a bonus. I thought I just read that.
Yeah, 1d12 when you reach 5th level. So at 5th level, it's 2d12.
Oh, okay, so 1d12, yeah.
So yeah, until then, it's 1d12. Seven.
You do release the poison spray, and just as you do, your target, the guy on the right, actually turns around and gets kind of a snootful of it, and immediately stumbles off into the bushes to start retching and puking. He is really upset, really sick. Who's next on the initiative order? Oh, Dorian.
Then me.
I'm gonna do a multi attack with the dagger.
Okay.
Which
Roll. Roll
Do
to hit.
it.
Don't forget, if they're not like engaged with you, if they're engaged with
Oh.
somebody else, you get backstab on the first one.
You do.
Oh.
You do. Do you need to look that up for a second to see how that works?
I didn't know that. I don't have it written down, so I guess I didn't even notice it.
Which one's he looking at?
He's looking at backstabbing rogue because the elf that he's about to,
Not a spell.
yeah, the elf that he's about to attack is facing the prince, not him. So he does get the sneak attack, but I don't remember what it does.
I get an advantage to wisdom, so I don't know what that does. But yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
This is what makes Rogue's magic skill of stabby stabby worth it.
Yep.
Sorcerer. Rogue. Here we go. Expertise. Sneak
It's
attack.
not on mine either.
What is it for?
You
Backstab?
didn't- Yeah, backstab wasn't noted on my paper.
Yeah, yours at 3rd level is 2d6 on the sneak attack.
Sneak attack.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful.
He's a
Okay, yeah, roll
stabber.
2d6.
On top of your damage. When
On
you
top
hit.
of, yeah.
Okay. So,
Roll to hit.
roll a hit.
Roll a hit.
Add your dex bonus. Just your dexterity.
13.
You hit.
Okay.
You hit. And then roll for damage plus 2d6.
It was a dagger, right?
Yes.
1d4 plus 2d6.
Yeah, so roll the d4 and the d6 twice.
Roll one 4-sided die, so that one. Number?
1.
Cool. Now roll two 6-sided die.
The first one is a 4,
So 5,
and then that one's a 1.
6.
6. Your dagger goes and it sticks in the where his leather armor pad meets the rest of the armor, like where that shoulder thing is.
Yeah.
It sticks right in, kind of into that seam, and you can tell he feels it, but you don't see any blood. He kind of lurches forward for a minute, and he looks up at the prince, and his eyes narrow, and then he takes off. He grabs his shoulder, and he runs. And as he runs, he grabs his buddy who's puking in the bushes, and kind of drags him along with him. They both mount their horses, and they run. And as you look in the distance, you can see all 20 to 30 wood elves that were still in pursuit just have vanished. They've all scattered in different directions. And you are left there with the prince still holding his sword, his eyes wide, like, what the fuck just happened here?
They didn't want that smoke.
Sink me! I never knew this trip would be so dangerous. Do you always run your operations like this?
Put that thing away.
I am a prince of the crown. You don't give me orders.
Put it away before you get hurt.
Cast Entangle and jerk it out of his hand into the ground. The sword out of targeting his sword, not him, and jerk it out of his hand into the ground.
Roll the hit.
Nice.
I'm going to channel divinity and
Well, I definitely missed.
I'm going to
Natural
channel
one.
divinity.
With
using
a
emissary
flick of his
piece.
wrist, he it's like he sees the spell coming, and he just flicks his wrist and looks at you. Odds fish, my boy. I had no intention of hurting you.
Put your sword down.
I'm going to channel divinity and use emissary of peace to make my bonus to my persuasion a plus 12.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, put your sword away, get on your horse, and cooperate with us. We just want to get you home.
Roll the persuade.
Oh.
That was a natural one, but it comes out to a 13.
I rolled to be like.
He's not happy with me.
let's just get on our way before they decide to come back.
Roll the persuade.
I got bloop bloop bloop. I also rolled that one, but it
We are
makes
not
an 8.
convincing.
My dear Cavaliers.
I was gonna use sleight of hand to take his sword.
Please stop assaulting him.
He can get it back when we're done.
I'm just.
Answer
Please put
questions.
it away and cooperate with us. We're just trying to get you home.
My dear Cavaliers, if I wished you harm, you'd have already been harmed. And he takes it with a very fancy sort of flourish. He resheaths his sword, and he swings very easily up onto his stallion, and stands there looking at you all. Well, are we ready?
I'm going to rip the arrow out of my shoulder and restore 7 points of healing with my lay on hands.
Okay.
Because I at least need to be in good fighting fashion if this is how this trip's gonna go.
Right?
Get onto my horse muttering things about the village, the family idiot. No wonder the queen keeps him shipped off into the countryside.
All right, and this seems like a fantastic moment for a bio break,
Oh,
yeah?
yes, please.
Yeah, it's 5:30.
Yeah.
It's
We
not
all
Alright.
gonna hop on our horses, or?
Alright.
Oh yeah, we're mounting up and moving out.
Yep, yes, yes. Mountain up, moving on.
Raha.
Rawhide!
Had to.
There we go. That lay on hands for paladins comes in handy.
Yeah, and my nat 1 makes total sense though, because he's not gonna listen to someone who's riding backwards on their horse still.
Camera.
However, you nat one on an important roll. Go away.
No idea.
I have 30 d20s.
This is why.
This animal is like scared me or something.
Shit.
It's on the special site for sure.
Is there some help?
I have no idea how John does that, but that's how I'm doing it for now.
Whatever works.
Right?
It sure feels like we got this. First thing I thought of was famous last words.
Oh,
Denver, it's actually a lot of fun playing with you.
What tray of that?
nice job, everybody. Nice job.
I love my instinctive grab the horse.
Okay, good.
Honestly, you guys came very, very close to screwing
Oh, we found one. Thank you. Yeah,
Like, you came very close to fucking with my compass. That almost did not happen because you guys were doing so good.
well, I mean, honestly, had he not dropped his sword, I was going to steal it.
He didn't drop it. He elegantly, powerfully put it away.
Yeah.
Your character and mine are not going to be friendly very often.
You never know.
Oh, I will protect you with my life because you're a cavalier in some way. But I will look at you with that. If we hadn't sworn the same oath.
I get that look, but only in a tenth of the capacity.
As a rogue, you're two best friends. You get time to disengage.
Yeah.
By the way, that was a great move to use the bonus action to leap gracefully off the horse and dash to that elf. I did not see that coming. That was really
Well, I was looking at my.
you. Like, I'm gonna shoot from riding backwards. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was looking through like my list of things that I could do. One of the things that I could do is dash or disengage or
And nice one.
Get up, get up, yourself.
That was cool.
That was really cool.
Instinct reaction for
Is that
the
large or small?
Because I grabbed my reins and was preparing to actually stop and go back and get get them.
I didn't think that anybody was gonna heal horses mid-run, so that was fucking cool.
I have to use the rest of my move, guys.
You have underestimated your players.
I have not.
I'm gonna step outside and enjoy the cool air.
We will take as much care of our horses, if not more, than we do of ourselves. I turned my shoulder into that arrow, not my horses.
See, I love the horses on the
But you can find that it's fun. I've used that in some really cool ways. Now, what's great is when you're at like 13th to 15th level and got a good number of hit points, you take a fucking massive hit using the interception. So they were making an attack on your friend and you intercepted the damage. You take all that damage and then using Channel Divinity, Rebuke the Violent, you deal that damage to the person who did the attack and watch them hit their knees. That's fun. I don't care who you are. 20 plus points of damage is gonna buckle your knees for a second. That hurts. It does feel good to be back in my redemption paladin skin.
You have done a lot very much.
I had to say guys, when we come back, we're gonna finish out basically the same thing. But I am feeling the rest of the
Hey, it's great. That's Denver 98.
nice job, y'all. Running through them and past them instead of turning around and trying to assault them. The combat would have gone very differently had you not done that.
I'm not violent. My first instinct was to take the prince and get running. And I was literally chasing him, cursing at his horse to get him to run faster.
His horse made good time, like, that's how he lost the at one point. His horse is
Well-bred.
well-bred. I
I've
did
seen that
not
horse.
seem
I
to
know what
find
it
the
can
extra activity.
I've seen the horse. I know what it can do.
Yeah.
So I was cursing at it, trying to get it to run faster.
I talked to the horse, I know what the deal is. That's kind of where I'm at
So
right
then,
now.
now that you've played with us a bit, are you going to be doing your dance with Talia?
My stepmom gave me a pig figurine. So I have to decide if I want it. It's perfect. It's like, was it just big? So a giant sow. So I have to decide if I want a small creature character to ride my giant sow animal companion, or if I don't want to be able to ride it, or have it just be that fucking big
Okay.
that my ring.
So you do want to join the other Sunday campaign?
Maybe we'll see. Probably.
Give them time,
Just have-
give them time to
Also,
there's
like,
no rush.
I haven't played in 10 years. Like,
And
One
that was
character.
3.5. Probably.
well, it was more like tried to learn how to play. Another player specifically chose not to save my character.
I've got so
And then
much to
in the other campaign, it was the last thing my mom had to take away from me.
What else was it?
Yeah, they were. No, I meant the like townsfolk you all were gonna have to deal with next month.
Oh
Yeah. Oh. That's sweet little bird brain.
You guys chose to save the mushrooms.
You're not part innocent.
At least a sentient species. At the moment.
so Twix candy.
No, I appreciate it, but no thank you.
Because that would help sleep.
Eating the piece of ginger candy, which has sugar in it, is probably going to be only sugar right
I would offer you straight CBD or so, but I bought weed card because I was getting low on it, and ADHD, brain, yeah, I forgot I still I bought something to replace it, and this ADHD put it somewhere that I don't know where it is now, but it's just safe for me.
My grandma stuck some stuff into my lunchbox. It's turkey summer sausage and red cheese. She said she'll cut some up. And we can have some. Somebody wants to cut it up.
I actually have a chunk of Monterey. Very nice way. Fancy your place?
I bought a full pack of knives from on clearance for $15 for that knife. You dropped your fire.
It's okay. It's actually
It's got perfect weight, so if you ever had to use it as a thrower, it would work. I think you use it as a
Food, car, purse. I have actual throwing knife that I was going to put in boots for character, but we're not going to. Moderately, I'm working on learning. I thought, yeah, of course. Been working, improving my knife skills, so I'm cooking. So, skills for going to fight.
See, fighting and throwing.
No, that's my job. That's what I do for work. So, my hours have been I emailed him being like, hey, I need to take one of my days of availability off because I'm starting school. And now I'm suddenly scheduled for 5 days for the whole month.
We also still have a big block of Monterey in the refrigerator if we need it.
Yeah, so when you are feeling better, we need to talk to you about being a script reading robot.
Okay. Yeah. Just go to www.venturedata.com.
Sounds good. I can also just go into my Indeed messages because apparently it's about a couple weeks after I got hired at my current line cook job, I got a message from y'all being like, you want to work for us? So I can just do that right here.
Oh, damn. D&D blanket. It's a thing. It's a blanket that says blanket on it as a D&D item.
Yes.
Blanket, fleece blanket, neutral. Armor class of 1, natural armor. Hit points 4, speed 0 feet. Survival +1, performance +1. Dark vision 60 feet, passive perception 0. This blanket can enfold a great portion of your body and keep you warm for a long, long night. Safe provision, this blanket makes you feel safer and gets rid of ghosts and monsters under your bed. Actions. Create the moment. Wrap this blanket around you to create all the amazing adventures together.
They have a Three Musketeers costume for Cat. Came across it this morning. I was like, oh
complaint somebody's made is I got charged twice and sent 2. Well, if they were only trying to order 1, they got double ordered.
It is really disappointing if those were fake. Because I was saying the only ones that looked like they were real were the ones that were straight white. And you said you didn't want the straight white ones. You were like, oh, well, these have the pretty design. And I looked at them and you looked at them and we both thought they were real candles.
Yeah.
It turned out not to be. Yeah, but we thought they were actual door candles because they're made of wax. And then the very top has its own actual wick. Even the sides are made of wax.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if you could actually light them up for a fucking candle.
It's for people who can't have fire in their house or are afraid of fire in their house.
Underpaid employees find out their boss secretly opened credit cards and handed it to the
Oh, that'd be so red.
Apparently, I have to step outside.
I'll take it to the table and start eating it just so you know.
Cool when you do that from the board.
Swap out plates. Anybody else want one of the last 2 chocolates on here? Chocolate?
No, thank you.
Chocolate?
Yeah, yeah. Protein.
I forget the English word for this. And people will think you're bilingual instead of an Indian.
Not much in there anymore.
I do that so often.
all my friends at a party, and one of their friends has received a concussion as a result of the party and needs hospital assistance, but does not want an ambulance.
I love how that's supposed to somehow manipulate your problem.
Especially when it's a friend who has ignored me since I reminded them that they owed me money when they had asked me for money again. And yeah, so I'm like, I'm sure you have other local units you can call.
I paid my debt to you with a computer.
Yes, you did. Well over.
In all honesty, I just want you to be able to do
Is it?
school.
What's your full name so that I can let Sarah, the hiring manager, know to expect you on I will tell her to put an
I do not know where those papers went. Last night? Yeah.
If you go
With your
in,
work ethic, it's gonna be so easy to
if
get
you go in my room, on the floor right behind the door, there's a small pack of maybe like 5 or 6 papers. I should be able to.
I'm guessing you're probably going to want to head with what you're relatively quick out the game.
I still owe you $6, so maybe they can put that. Is that okay if I put it towards my gas tank? Thank you. Not a
Yeah,
problem.
I'm gonna wrap up game fairly quickly so that we can all do our sit around and clean up and chat about the game and all that stuff.
Say whenever you're ready, I don't mind calling it a I know you have
Yeah, we just genuinely appreciate the opportunity to play.
Yeah, very much want to finish off at least part of this encounter.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to have fun smoking.
I am doing that now.
I'm sorry. Oh, I bumped your arm. I thought I bumped your head or something. No.
No.
Yeah, I heard new backstab was even up there.
That's based on the challenge rating, right?
I did, but just for
That's based on the challenge rating, right?
Yeah.
but I have
I know.
other stuff to say.
You have backstab as well.
No,
If you're a rogue, you have backstab in the story.
It just wasn't in any of the book stuff that I had.
It's in the player's handbook. It's basic rogue kit.
Oh,
You get
no,
it
that
as
was
level
sneak
1.
attack. Sneak attack.
Yes, sneak attack is backstab.
Okay, well then I have it on Ember's character sheet as sneak attack.
That's what I have on mine. I just didn't know it was backstab.
That's better. Sneak attack, backstab. It's the place where you put the knife in the soft spot where they're not looking.
Right. In the tingly bits.
did you find me the link One of my non-local besties was like, I can't have you not updated on my life for too long. I'm like, yeah, I've been wanting to call you for weeks, but didn't want to trigger a panic attack by making your phone ring. So I've been waiting for you to call me.
Alright. How's everybody? Okay, sorry.
There's this card straight.
Put it there for you. That's yours. There's a piece of cheese and a piece of milk.
If you put it on her plate, she might go for it. Tap the side of it, she'll make your nails ring on the bed plate.
Oh.
So always check it out.
I know where yours is. Or I did.
Jesus, goes thank you.
Thank you guys for sticking with me through this less than entirely prepared second level session.
You're doing pretty good winging it.
It's luckily most things went down more or less the way they were supposed to.
Sorry.
More or less.
This slice is too thin, but it was really hard to get a slice on that little tiny sour sausage.
Well, the sausage is actually kind of sweet. It's actually got a pretty interesting
It's because
taste.
it's turkey instead of beef,
Well,
so it's a little sweeter.
the paper is still on it.
Yeah. It was adjusted to.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the rest. It's a little sweeter.
But anyway,
You alright? You seem like you're in pain.
It's out there.
of you will handle the camera. I'll handle everything else. Right.
Oh, I need this just X out of it. And bring the other thing back up.
Oh, there we go. No, it was the cursor I was having issues with. Ta-da! Well, that's clean.
I'm getting better at that.
Right? So I wanted you to do it. I just fumbled with it.
Okay, we've got a little bit more of that on the table, but that's okay.
If you made it through that lengthy break, thank you very much and welcome back. Just a bit of a recap. While taking the prince back from Cairne Dolmier back to Cairne Dolmier, the entire party was set upon by wood elves. They fired dozens of arrows, but struck very little. And when the party came upon the prince cornered against a rock, they managed to dispatch those two wood elves. And now everybody is back on their horses and making their way back to the main road. Any particular actions, precautions anybody wants to take at this point?
To keep pace next to the prince.
Okay.
So what was all that about?
Roll an investigation check. Actually, and while he rolls an investigation check, because he's actively asking, I want everybody else to roll a passive perception check. The DC is 10.
14.
10 exactly.
I got an at 20.
Okay, that's a 10.
3.
22.
In all the excitement, Chris, you were distracted by the fact that your horse was injured and not particularly being cooperative basically this entire combat. You've determined this is not going to be your assigned horse. All the rest of you, however, in the back of your head, there's kind of you can tell, Anaya, that something about that combat just was not quite right. You've been in many combats, you've killed lots of bandits before. Something about that just wasn't right. Those of you that rolled a little higher, you have noticed that the elves seemed pretty quick to take off upon receiving damage of any kind. And you have already noticed, hence why you rolled an investigation check, that for all that violence, sure doesn't seem like anybody got seriously hurt.
Yeah.
So when you say, what's that all about, and when it was your roll?
14.
Well that was a meter beat, and you meet it by exactly. He looks at you and he thinks, and he says, he winks at you. What's fish, my boy? You don't think you're the only one with secrets, do you? That will be disclosed at a later time, when it becomes your business to know. And then he on his horse and just sort of trots along, and he clearly has no intention of telling you anything more.
As he's trotting off, kind of pull back a little bit. He's hiding something. And fop.
Yeah.
Anybody gonna respond to that?
Just a quick roll of the eyes, like, No shit, Sherlock.
And I wouldn't notice anything, so.
Well, he just said that he was hiding something. And that's what I'm asking if you were responding to.
I'll keep an eye on him.
With my perception, do I notice anything around us that like might be necessary to know?
No, now that the woods have been cleared of the wood elves, it's downright idyllic. I mean, other than the fact that it's dark now, you've got owls in the trees, but you're back on the road, and everything seems real peaceful.
About how far are we from our destination?
In about an hour, you'll pass Clairedell, and so you're about 4 hours from Cairne Dolmier at this point.
The horses did not get an opportunity to take a break.
No, they did not.
I would like to stop back at Clairedell. I know we have friends there.
Maybe not with our present company.
Possibly. You make good points.
We were told to leave discreetly. I don't think coming back in full regalia with a prince will go well.
I'm going to ride up to the prince and be like, would you be willing to disguise yourself as a commoner for the sake of finishing today's adventures quietly?
What's fish medicine? A commoner? Well.
Call it theater.
You do know how to speak to me. Very well. I needed to go water a tree anyway. He pulls his horse up, delicately gets off of the horse, and he steps back behind a tree, and you can hear him. What's everybody else doing?
I'm just sitting there on my horse waiting for the prince to finish relieving himself.
I pull all of our commoners' clothes out of my saddlebag where I had neatly bundled them into tight rolls. And there. And I put on my nice robes because they know who I am, and I give you your corset that has our family's crest on it because they would know you.
Mm-hmm.
You look identical to me. It would not make sense for you to be in commoners' clothing.
Mm-hmm.
We have friends here.
Yeah.
Feel like we'd be taking advantage of them. Just saying.
Well, you're an hour past Clairedell, so if you
Oh, we went
want,
beyond Clairedell.
Yeah, you're only 3 hours from Cairne Dolmier at this point.
Okay, well then we'll continue onward.
But do you all change into your commoner's clothes? Yes, there was a set
Yeah.
originally left in the back of the wagon for you because you were supposed to be with the original group.
Also, like, waiting for the prince to return, I have 2 sets of commoner's clothes pulled from my personal pouch. Being
Okay.
like, a sack of disguise, what you want.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think I would
Dorian?
change. I would
go
say I don't think I would change personally because I don't think it'd be right having the prince being escorted into town by a bunch of commoners.
Well, the prince just changed into commoner's clothes too.
Well, you didn't say yet. He
Yeah,
hasn't
you didn't
returned
say
from
if
Black
he had
Heat.
changed yet.
Yeah, you're right. I had not. After he leaves for what seems like forever, he does step out from around the tree, and he is wearing what can only be described as just the most raggedy clothes possible. He's now walking with a limp, and he's got his face screwed up on one side.
It's okay. I'm a paladin.
Can I,
You think this'll work? And
Straighten
you
it.
notice he has managed to change his accent even.
Walk over, take a good look at him, sniff him.
He had clearly rolled himself in dung. He smells like dung. He looks like dung, he smells like dung.
Take
Mighty
the,
fine theater.
take all the Caveliers markings off the horses.
Nice call.
Um,
Dorian.
Huh?
What are you doing?
I was going to ask if I could use like survival to check the area real quick to make sure there's nothing.
Absolutely.
About.
Absolutely.
Probably recommended that we check the area.
Since you have stopped the horses long enough to wee.
I was gonna do
Change.
it. I was gonna do it mainly because we already know he's shady. We already know that the encounter was shady, so it makes sense to.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I got a nat 20 plus my 8, 28.
Okay. Because you got a nat 20, I'm going to give this to you. Do you use the spyglass?
Sure.
Okay. Peering through the spyglass, for the most part, even then, you don't really see a lot. But you do see, from time to time, just flickers of what looks like the outlines of images. They do look basically humanoid, but you can't quite tell. And then when you look again, they're gone. But as you keep panning back and forth, you're seeing them kind of off and on in the trees.
Can I do I know if they're wood elf or they just?
You can't see that they're a little bit far off, and you notice that as you're looking at them, they kind of more look like blobs of light. There's no features.
Okay, so I just see like shadows or.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then roll a perception check with advantage.
Okay, so that would be what, 20?
2 d20s and take the higher number and add your bonus to it.
While that's happening, I take my corset from
Am I using
and
my?
put that on
Perception.
over my leather armor.
Regular. Sorry, what?
I taken the clothes that I was holding, put them back from whence they came, and started to leave my armor on to change so that I into my family's emblem rather than my Cavaliers emblem.
Okay.
Our family did think we were out of town
16?
on shopping.
16. You look at this spyglass carefully. You pull it up again, you see more lights. You look at it again. I'll be damned. And here's, you can say or not say, but here's what happened.
Okay.
Final
Okay.
countdown.
I have a question. Do we have to wear the commoner clothes they provided, or can we just wear our own, like, just random
You can
clothes?
wear your own,
Okay.
that's no problem.
So
The
I,
point was to not look like Cavaliers.
The point was to not look like Cavaliers and come
so
riding
I
on
just
friends,
don like
yeah.
the usual warlock's robe, but it fits. It's nice. It's common, but it's not baggy or raggedy.
That's fine. Good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think I'm gonna go ahead and let them know that.
Okay, just go ahead and tell them.
Hey guys, it appears that we're I believe we're being followed by creatures that are invisible. Apparently, the spyglass allows you to see invisible creatures.
Well, that's helpful. That being the case, about how far away would you say they are?
They're a distance, and none of them seemed to react to like when you were looking at them. They
Yeah.
didn't really seem like they could see you or like they were paying attention to you at all.
Okay.
So like it could look through.
Maybe
dimensional-
120 feet or so was the closest
Oh, boy.
one, and everything else was a little further than that.
I say we camp here tonight. And I take all of the Cavalier regalia that I just pulled off of
The
myself
horses and
everywhere, toss it in the middle and cast create fire, and then start throwing logs up like deadfall on top of it to make it look like we've got a nice fire going.
you just burned your uniforms.
If I'm trying to keep myself from being trackable, yes. Uniforms can be reissued.
Okay.
Mine is in my bag, along with the stuff from my horse.
Yours is safe. Who
I
else?
also put mine away neatly.
Mine's under my common clothes.
Yeah, I was just say mine's still.
What are
Okay,
you
so
doing
you
with the
might-
horse blankets and markers?
You took all the horse blankets
Yep.
off, so you have
I'm
managed.
burning those, but I would store my uniform.
Okay, store your uniform, but the horse blankets are burning.
Yeah.
The saddles, however, of course, are not just going to sit neatly in a fire, so they are still on the horses, and
Yeah.
the barding is still on the horses.
We can do something to pull the medallions off of them and everything else. Wouldn't we be able to?
Mine has already been covered by my family crest because I just have extras.
Not the barding on the horse.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
Your horse's bit and bridle and the I forget the correct name for the flap on the saddle rack.
Saddle
I know
strap?
all of these things. No, not the saddle strap. There's another flap towards the back, just kind of hangs there.
The let it
Got a
go.
name. Yeah, thank you. There's a rose stamped on that. Anybody who looks closely at this saddle is going to be able to see that it's a Cavalier saddle. However, it's not particularly ostentatious, and at any kind of distance, it just looks like a saddle.
You know.
I have Tinker's tools, so we could cover it up with Tinker's tools, because I have scraps of leather that we could lay over top of it.
Otherwise, we look like a bunch of commoners that stole some Cavaliers' horses
Indeed.
and
do,
a royal stallion.
do you want to do that now, or
Yeah, I'm gonna use. I'm gonna go
in
ahead
the dark?
and use. Well, I mean, there is a fire for the campfire.
Yeah, but we could just sleep. Nobody's gonna bother us while we get some sleep, and we can just take care of it in the morning before we move on.
True.
Famous last words of so many parties.
Right.
Right? No one's gonna bother us in our sleep. TPK.
I'm gonna go ahead and try to put some of the scrap leather that I have, just kind of like loosely place it across the emblems to try and hide them.
okay, and strap the horses up and everything. Other than snacking down and then bedding down, do you guys have anything else you wanted to do this evening?
Watch order?
Watch order.
I'll just take the watch.
The whole night?
I'm anxious as fuck. We are in the middle of nowhere camping.
Do ASMR have any sleep
Yes.
bonuses or anything?
We can go a lot longer without sleep.
Okay.
We are celestial, so time is weird for us anyways.
Okay. No problem.
About that, that's an only elves thing. You're supposed to get an average 8.
Well, not if they're partially celestial and it says otherwise in the book.
Everybody gets 8 except for elves last I heard.
It just means I won't
She
get
needs
my
a
long
full
rest.
8 hours of sleep, but she can go longer before she needs it, is what she's saying.
Yeah.
That's what I understand.
I can go a longer period of time without getting my long rest, but I do not have any spell slots and would really be only good as an alarm clock.
That sounds counterproductive.
If you want to stay up all night, feel free to stay up all night. You will get no bonuses to your constitution checks tomorrow.
I don't mind.
Okay.
I can check in with.
Anybody?
I have a random weird question.
Mm.
Can you be in stealth and still be able to sleep while in stealth?
Yeah, absolutely. Insofar as, of course, you can tuck yourself under a bush and put your cloak over the top of you and just lay very still and go to sleep. Unless you're a massive snorer, you're pretty stealth when you're asleep because you're not moving much anyway.
Alright, I'm gonna go stealth then. I'm gonna sleep.
Okay. You are going to sleep in stealth. Go ahead and roll a check on that.
See how well you did.
Denari.
Dianara.
Dianara, so sorry.
You're all good. After a short rest, I awaken myself and sing and sneak to where
Just with the tip of my lance in the ground, standing near where I can get the best view of anything that would possibly be coming, just standing there meditating while watching. Just
yeah. But I sing the childhood lullaby and tell you to go rest because you will be useless tomorrow if you do not. It is
Roll
my
a
turn
persuasion
to-
check against your, or whatever that check is.
That'd be constitution.
No.
that would be a
She's
wisdom.
rolling against wisdom, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a straight wisdom save at that one, I guess.
Yes, it's a wisdom save. But not a straight one, you do get your bonus.
Persuasion?
Yes.
So I got shitty roll, but I got a 13.
Got a 13.
I got an 8.
After standing out here for 4.5, almost 5 hours, the day's excitement is starting to catch up to you. And you realize that at least a couple of hours of shut-eye might not be such a bad call.
I told you.
It might not be a bad idea, but give me one good reason why I ought to let my little sister watch our camp for the night unsupervised. They wouldn't even let us be in separate brigades. The Queen herself says I'm not to get a break from you.
Exactly. She deemed me worthy of being here along with you. Let me prove myself.
Roll persuasion. And roll your wisdom check.
Persuasion, I got a 23.
I got a nat 1.
Okay.
I'm irritated enough that I'm just gonna go to bed. If you fail, you fail. This is like the one point of contention that our characters have not worked out, is I continuously see Day as much less mature than me.
Darby.
After about 8 hours of getting solid sleep, get up, look around, probably starting to get close to where you see that weird first light of the dawn. Go tap on her shoulder. Go back to bed. Get the rest of your night's rest.
Talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But
Anything?
if you bother my sister before I awaken to wake her, I might stab you.
It would not be good to make an enemy of me. He just smiles and goes back to watching the forest line.
I might stab
A couple more hours go by. You wisely allow Caritas to go ahead and get a good 4.5, 5 hours of sleep. Once the sun is high, but it, not all the way up in the sky, but it's past dawn and it's mid-morning. You all get up and, who wants to try to wake the prince, who is still sleeping like a beauty?
I'm not. I'm gonna pick him up and put him on and heft him. I'm irritable. I got sweet talked by my baby sister into going to bed.
And you didn't get enough sleep anyway. Go ahead and roll a dexterity check.
I'm a grumpy paladin this morning.
Sure.
That was a
Dexterity?
That was a 19.
You easily pick him up, hoist him over your shoulder, throw him over the saddle, grab the bridle, wrap it around the horn, and him like you use his clothes to just kind of tie him on there. And
I haven't done anybody's shit this morning.
you walk over to your horse and you mount it. What's everybody else doing?
I'm guessing we're leaving right away.
Up to you.
Well, if she's already got the prince tied to a horse and mounted,
She's just
ready
in
to
a bad
go.
mood. What are you doing?
Well, I was studying a little bit after we woke up, enjoying a fire, waking up, having some tea, and studying a little more.
Okay.
I like to study.
As the prince snores away over the saddle.
I snacked on my watch, so I'm ready
always
whenever.
studying.
So you're mounting up and getting ready to go also?
Yeah.
I mount up and I pull out one of my pears, stuffed with some cheese and bread, and toss the other pear at my sister.
Roll a dex check.
It is.
And you rolled a hit.
That is a nat 20.
Nice. What did you roll?
I rolled 2.
Plus your dexterity bonus.
Oh. So that would be.
So
You tossed it pretty lazily, and it kind of looked like instead of you tossing it to her nicely, like it was gonna bean her kind of in the back of the ear, where at the last second she just and grabs a hold of it. And Dorian.
Well, since everybody else is already pretty much mounted, I think I'm gonna do the smart thing. I'm gonna pull out the spyglass and look around again before I mount my horse.
Roll an investigation check.
Can I just say I love our little love-hate relationship?
$13.
You see nothing. Nothing at all. Whatever was there the night before does seem to have disappeared with the morning light.
I'm gonna go ahead and hop on my horse then.
As I see all this, I kind of put out the fire, put up my study materials, and I get on my horse.
And the rest of your trip to Carrington to Gale is entirely uneventful. 3.5 hours later, so around 11:30 in the morning, you guys finally come up on the main gates of the city. You're bedraggled, your bums are sore, none of you are in a particularly great mood, but nonetheless, you have fulfilled your mission. You are home. As soon as you enter the city gates, other Caveliers come rushing from the guard gates over to help you guys all dismount. They check on you. There's a cleric among them in
tied up
case any of you had
prince.
been injured. 3 or 4 of them basically just throw their cloaks over the prince and shuffle him off down a side door that you guys have passed like 10,000 times but have never really seen. Until you watch the prince get disappeared down into one. And with that, we are going to call it a night.
Fantastic.
Woot.
Woot woot. So thank you all so much for being here. I will see everybody
2 weeks.
not next Sunday, but the Sunday after that, and you can rejoin us on our adventures through the Witchwood and the beautiful world of Lurator, nation of Erlon, the grand city of Carrington to Gale. Thank you so much for being here.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Ooh,
Live long and prosper.
live long,
Live long
and
and
prosper.
Bye!